The Grand Council of the Galactic Federation considered themselves quite the brilliant bunch. After all, they'd solved the human problem with minimal casualties and maximum efficiency. Just a small atmospheric modification compound released globally, and the troublesome species would quietly suffocate within their own habitat. No messy invasions, no resource-intensive bombardments. Just a peaceful transition as Earth became available for proper, civilized development. "Has anyone checked on the progress?" asked Supreme Commander Vox, his three eye stalks swiveling toward the mission coordinator. Tactical Officer Pandra flicked through her data pad. According to projections, the humans should be at 93% extinction by now. The remaining 7% will likely be in underground bunkers with limited air recycling capability. "Excellent," Vox rumbled, his throat sacs inflating with satisfaction. "Begin preparations for colonization teams. I want mining operations to start within 6 lunar cycles." Science Director Krell cleared his throat. "Perhaps we should send a confirmation probe? Just as a formality." Vox waved a dismissive tentacle. "What a waste of resources." The atmospheric poison was foolproof, designed specifically for human biology. Nothing survives a Class 4 biochemical restructuring. "Of course, Commander." Krell bowed his head, all 6 of his ears flattening in deference. "Though I recall the humans showed unexpected adaptability during our initial surveys." "Adaptability," snorted General Draz from across the chamber. "Is that what we are calling stubborn primitiveness now? They couldn't even achieve unified planetary governance. They were still burning fossilized plants for energy when we found them." The council chamber filled with chittering laughter. Only Krell remained silent, his primary heart pulsing with unease. 3 standard cycles later, the confirmation probe entered Earth's orbit. Not because Vox had ordered it, but because Krell had quietly dispatched one anyway. The science director sat alone in his private observation chamber, monitoring the incoming data with mounting concern. The atmospheric composition was indeed altered, catastrophically so by human standards. Oxygen levels had plummeted, replaced by compounds that should have been lethal to any human respiratory system. Surface temperatures had risen dramatically. Most plant life appeared dead or dormant. "Just as planned," Krell muttered to himself, but his relief was short-lived. The probe's sensors detected energy signatures, lots of them, concentrated in what used to be major human settlements. "Computer, analyze heat signatures and compare to pre-intervention human technology." The computer hummed. "Analysis complete. Current energy outputs exceed pre-intervention levels by approximately 300%. Thermal signatures indicate temperatures far exceeding human technological capabilities from baseline data." Krell's secondary heart joined his primary in a panicked rhythm. "Show me visual confirmation." The screen flickered, and Krell nearly fell backward out of his hover chair. Where human cities once stood, massive structures now rose, gleaming, angular buildings that seemed to pulse with internal light. Between them moved things. The resolution wasn't clear enough to make out details, but they were bipedal, roughly human-sized, yet somehow wrong. "Computer, maximum magnification on moving entities." The image zoomed and stabilized. Krell's breathing tubes constricted. The creatures were humans, or had been once. Their skin had taken on a reddish, almost metallic sheen. Some appeared to have protrusions that might have been external respiratory organs. And most disturbing of all, many were exhaling visible plumes of... Was that flame? "Oh, great ancestors," Krell whispered. "They didn't die. They adapted." The communication panel on his desk chimed urgently. Director Krell came the panicked voice of his assistant. "Supreme Commander Vox demands your immediate presence in emergency session. A human vessel just appeared in the Proxima Centauri system." Krell's all 3 hearts nearly stopped. Impossible. They had no faster-than-light capability. "They do now," his assistant replied, voice trembling. "And Director?" "The vessel is 3 times larger than our largest battlecruiser." Fleet Admiral Jorka of the Human Adaptive Forces stood on the bridge of the HSV Vengeance, enjoying the panic she was causing simply by existing. The Proxima Centauri station was scrambling fighters that looked like toys compared to her ship. "Should we SWAT them?" asked Captain Tomei, his respiratory gills flaring with anticipation. Like most of the crew, his adapted physiology had embraced the new atmosphere rather enthusiastically. The poison meant to kill them had instead triggered emergency evolutionary protocols buried in human DNA, the protocols apparently placed there long ago by someone or something with remarkable foresight. "Let them buzz around," Jorka replied, tapping her metallic red fingers against the command console. "I want their leaders to get a good long look at what they failed to kill." Lieutenant Zara approached, the temperature around her rising noticeably. Of all the adaptations, her particular mutation was among the most impressive and terrifying. "Admiral, we are receiving a transmission from what appears to be their governing council." On screen, Jorka ordered, straightening her uniform and running a hand through her coppery hair, another side effect of the adaptation. The massive view screen flickered to life, revealing a semicircle of various alien species. Front and center sat a bloated, tentacled creature whose eye stalks were vibrating with what Jorka recognized as fear. "This is Supreme Commander Vox of the Galactic Federation," the creature gurgled. "Your presence in this system constitutes an act of aggression. Identify yourself immediately." Jorka smiled, making sure to show her newly sharpened teeth. "This is Fleet Admiral Jorka of Earth. Perhaps you remember Earth? Small blue planet, nice atmosphere until recently?" The alien visibly recoiled. "Impossible. Your species should be dead? Extinct? Suffocated in our own homes?" Jorka leaned forward. "Funny thing about trying to exterminate humans, we take it personally." "There must be some misunderstanding," Vox stammered. "The atmospheric adjustment was merely a terraforming error." Captain Tomei laughed, a sound like grinding metal. "A planet-wide oops? How convenient." Jorka silenced him with a gesture. "We are not here to listen to excuses, Commander Vox. We are here to establish some new ground rules for our relationship with the Galactic Federation. You have no authority. I have a ship that your sensors can't fully comprehend and a crew that breathes fire," Jorka interrupted. "I'd say that gives me all the authority I need." As if on cue, Lieutenant Zara exhaled sharply, releasing a controlled plume of blue-orange flame that briefly illuminated the bridge. The aliens on screen flinched collectively. "Now," continued Jorka, "here's how this is going to work. Your Federation is going to acknowledge humanity's sovereignty. You are going to provide reparations for your attempted genocide. And you are going to share your technology, all of it. Or," Vox challenged, though his voice quavered. Jorka's smile widened. "Or we will show you exactly what we have learned to do with our new biology. Your atmospheric poison didn't just change our bodies, Commander. It changed our minds, our potential, and our limits." She leaned back in her chair. "We are breathing fire now. Care to see what else we can do?" Science Director Krell had never seen Supreme Commander Vox move so quickly. The massive alien practically bounded from the council chamber after the transmission ended, leaving the rest of the leadership in disarray. "They cannot be serious," sputtered General Draz. "Reparations? Technology sharing? This is extortion." "This is survival," Krell countered quietly. "Did you see what they have become? A few parlor tricks. Cosmetic adaptations and primitive flame projection." Krell shook his head. "The preliminary analysis of their vessel tells a different story. The metal alloy isn't in our database. The energy readings suggest a power source we don't understand. And their adaptation, it's unprecedented." "What are you suggesting?" asked Pandra, the tactical officer. "I'm suggesting that our attempt to remove them from the galactic equation has instead catapulted them beyond us." Krell pulled up the probe data on the main screen. "Look at these images from Earth. They have rebuilt in less than 3 cycles. Their new structures incorporate technology that appears to harness the very atmospheric compounds we used against them." "Impossible," whispered Draz, but with less conviction. Commander Vox knows it, Krell continued. That's why he ran to contact the High Council. He's going to recommend full compliance with the human demands. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Finally, Pandra spoke up. We didn't just fail to eliminate a potential rival species, she said slowly. We accelerated their evolution and gave them a very personal grudge against us. Krell's ears drooped. And now they want our technology, which means they will surpass us completely within a decade, finished General Draz, all bluster gone from his voice. The emergency alert system blared, making them all jump. The automated voice echoed through the chamber. Attention, all leadership personnel. Multiple unidentified vessels have been detected entering restricted space. Current count 73 and rising. Configuration matches human vessel in Proxima Centauri. Defensive protocols have been automatically engaged. Krell closed all three of his eyes. Too late, he murmured. They are already here. Back on the HSV Vengeance, Admiral Jorka watched with satisfaction as the tactical display filled with friendly signatures. The first adaptive fleet deployed strategically throughout the Federation's territory. Not to attack, not yet, but to demonstrate that humanity's reach now extended far beyond what anyone had anticipated. Admiral, Captain Tommy reported, all vessels confirm position. The Federation's capital worlds are now within our operational theater. Excellent, Jorka replied. And Earth Command? President Amir sends her regards. The Atmospheric Reclamation Project has reached Phase 3. Estimates suggest we can restore 20% of original conditions while maintaining our new biological advantages. Jorka nodded. The irony wasn't lost on her. They no longer needed the old atmosphere, but restoring it had become a point of principle. A reminder of what had been taken and what had been gained in return. Incoming transmission, announced Lieutenant Zara. It's their High Council this time. The screen flickered to life, revealing a semicircle of ancient-looking aliens. Their species varied, but their expressions were uniformly grim. Human representatives began the central figure, a wispy, translucent being. We have reviewed your demands and the current tactical situation. The Federation is prepared to negotiate terms. Wonderful, Jorka replied, not bothering to hide her satisfaction. We will start with a complete technological exchange. Everything you have, propulsion, weapons, communications, medicine, everything. That would violate our most sacred principles of. Jorka cut the alien off. Your most sacred principles didn't seem to bother you when you were poisoning our planet. The alien seemed to deflate slightly. As a gesture of goodwill, we are prepared to offer reparations and limited technology sharing. Limited won't cut it, Captain Tommy growled. We have analyzed your capabilities. We know what you are hiding. The alien representatives exchanged nervous glances. Perhaps a more gradual approach. Let me be clear, Jorka interrupted, leaning forward. This isn't a negotiation. It's an opportunity for you to avoid what comes next. And what would that be? Asked the wispy alien, voice barely audible. Jorka smiled. Evolution. At that moment, as if choreographed, every human officer on the bridge exhaled simultaneously, producing a synchronized display of flame that momentarily engulfed the command center in a controlled inferno. When the flames cleared, the bridge was untouched, but the aliens on screen had recoiled in horror. Humanity has always been good at adapting, Jorka continued conversationally. It's kind of our thing. But you gave us a crash course in speed evolution that's rewritten our potential. We have embraced your poison and made it our strength. She stood walking closer to the screen. So here's what happens next. You give us everything we have asked for, and we allow the Galactic Federation to continue existing. You refuse, and we show you exactly what else we have learned to do with our new biology. The wispy alien's translucence became almost complete, apparently their species' equivalent of turning pale. The Council will comply with your requests, but data transfer will begin immediately. Wonderful, Jorka said, resuming her seat. I knew we could be reasonable. Oh, and one more thing. We will be wanting the formula for that atmospheric poison you used. Our scientists are quite eager to understand exactly how it works. The transmission ended abruptly. Jorka suspected at least one council member had fainted. Captain Tommy approached her station, his expression concerned. Do you think they will really comply? Or are they stalling? Jorka shrugged. Doesn't matter. Either way, humanity wins. How do you figure? If they comply, we get their technology and a 5-century head start on our expansion. If they resist, she trailed off, idly producing a small flame from her index finger, another adaptation that had proven unexpectedly useful. We get to show them what happens when you pick a fight with the species that survived ice ages, plagues, world wars, and their own self-destructive tendencies. Jorka extinguished the flame with a flick of her wrist. Either way, they just made humanity the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Lieutenant Zara approached with a data pad. Admiral, we are receiving the first data packets from the Federation. It appears they are complying. Good. Jorka nodded. Transmit to Earth Command for immediate analysis. As her officers carried out their duties, Jorka gazed out at the stars visible through the bridge viewport. The Galactic Federation had made a critical error. They had tried to eliminate humans as a potential threat, a species confined to one world with limited technology but unlimited aggression. Instead, they had created exactly what they feared most. And now the universe would never be the same. 6 standard cycles after humanity's dramatic entrance into galactic politics, the balance of power had shifted so dramatically that many younger Federation species couldn't remember a time when humans weren't feared. The technology transfer had proceeded exactly as Admiral Jorka demanded, though not without considerable passive resistance from certain Federation factions. Another corrupted data packet, sighed Dr. Maya Reeves, head of Xenotechnology Reverse Engineering at Earth Command Headquarters. Her adapted skin shimmered copper in the harsh laboratory lighting as she tossed a data crystal onto the examination table. The Zorlaxians are getting creative with their sabotage. Her assistant, Dr. Dax Powell, snorted a small jet of flame in frustration. His adaptation had taken a particularly aggressive form, with scale-like protrusions along his jawline that glowed orange when he was agitated. Should we report this to the Admiral? No need to bother Jorka with every petty act of defiance, Maya replied, stretching her modified limbs. The atmospheric change had made humans stronger, more durable, and significantly more intimidating to look at. Besides, I have already cracked their encryption. They don't realize we are 10 steps ahead. A notification pulsed on her wrist communicator. Speaking of being ahead, President Amir is about to address the planet. Want to watch? Dax nodded, and Maya activated the wall screen. The image of President Carla Amir appeared, standing atop the newly constructed Phoenix Tower in what had once been Geneva. Unlike many humans who had developed flame-producing capabilities, the president's adaptation had manifested as an almost translucent, glass-like quality to her skin, but through which one could see the fiery energy circulating within her veins. Citizens of Earth and our colonial outposts, President Amir began, her voice steady and powerful. Today marks the 5-year anniversary of what we now call the Catalyst, the day our unwelcome visitors attempted to erase humanity and instead forged us anew. The camera panned out, showing the gathered crowd, thousands of transformed humans, their adaptations as varied as they were spectacular. Some hovered slightly above the ground, others displayed metallic exoskeletons, and many casually manipulated small flames between their fingers. Our atmospheric restoration project has reached 50% of pre-attack conditions, Amir continued. While many of us have embraced our new biology, we recognize the importance of preserving choice for future generations. Earth will once again sustain traditional human life alongside our adapted forms. The crowd applauded. A sound punctuated by the distinctive whoosh of excitement triggered flame bursts. More importantly, the president continued, her expression hardening. Today I am announcing the formation of the Human Protectorate Alliance. 7 former Federation worlds have petitioned for our protection against Federation exploitation. After careful consideration, Earth Command has accepted their requests. Maya whistled low. That's going to ruffle some tentacles. The Federation attempted to remove us from the galactic community, Amir declared. Instead, we will reshape it, not through conquest or intimidation, but by offering an alternative to their stagnant hierarchy. Where they demanded conformity, we will celebrate diversity. Where they hoarded knowledge, we will share innovation. Dax leaned forward. Is she serious? We have barely finished weaponizing half their tech. Sheesh, Maya responded, eyes fixed on the screen. To the Galactic Federation Council, I extend this message. President Amir's voice took on a razor edge. Your failed genocide has consequences. Your borders are now our borders. Your protected worlds are now under our watch. And your future is now inextricably linked with ours. The transmission ended, leaving the laboratory in momentary silence. Well, Maya said finally, I guess we are not just surviving anymore. We are expanding. Dax's scales glowed brighter. Is that wise? The Federation still outnumbers us thousands to 1. Maya laughed, a sound like crackling fire. Numbers stopped mattering the moment they gave us their technology. Quality over quantity, Dax. That's the human way now. The laboratory door hissed open, and both scientists straightened as Admiral Jorka strode in, flanked by 2 officers whose adaptations had taken particularly militant forms, reinforced skeletal structures visible beneath semi-transparent skin. Dr. Reeves, Jorka nodded. I assume you watched the President's address? Just finished, Admiral, Maya confirmed. Bold move with the Protectorate. A necessary move, Jorka corrected. The Federation is mobilizing. Our intelligence suggests they have been developing countermeasures against our new biology. Maya's expression darkened. That didn't take long. Honor among genocidal maniacs isn't worth much these days. Which brings me to why I'm here, Jorka continued, motioning to one of her officers. The woman stepped forward, placing a secure container on the laboratory table. We intercepted this during a routine patrol near Tau Ceti, a Federation science vessel, operating under diplomatic cover. Maya opened the container carefully. Inside was a vial of swirling, opalescent gas. Let me guess. Atmospheric poison 2.0? Precisely, Jorka confirmed. They are working on a refined version, specifically targeting our adaptations. Fools, Dax murmured. Don't they realize we are still evolving? Even now, our physiology continues to change. Apparently not, Jorka replied. Or perhaps they are counting on it. Either way, I need you to analyze this compound and develop a countermeasure. Maya lifted the vial, studying it with practiced eyes. Consider it done, Admiral. Anything else? Jorka hesitated, something Maya had rarely seen in the normally decisive officer. Spit it out, Admiral, Maya prompted. Your respiratory flares are giving you away. Jorka's gills twitched, an involuntary reaction when she was concerned. There's more happening than just Federation countermeasures. We have detected unusual energy signatures from beyond the galactic rim. Define unusual, Dax asked. Unknown, powerful, and heading this way. Jorka's expression was grim. Whatever it is, it's got the Federation terrified. Their encrypted channels are buzzing with references to the architects. Maya felt her 3 secondary hearts, another common adaptation, quicken their pace. The who? We don't know yet, Jorka admitted, but intercepted communications suggest they might be responsible for the original atmospheric compound. Wait, Maya set down the vial carefully. You are saying the Federation didn't develop the poison? They deployed it, Jorka clarified. But increasingly, evidence suggests they acquired the technology from another source. A much older, much more advanced source. The laboratory fell silent as the implications settled over them. So Dax finally said, We might be heading toward a confrontation with the actual architects of our transformation. And the Federation's panic suggests they are not friendly, Maya added. Jorka nodded grimly. President Amir has authorized me to form a special task force. Scientists, military strategists, diplomats if we need them. We need to understand what's coming and prepare accordingly. I volunteer, Maya said immediately. I assumed you would, Jorka replied with a thin smile. Report to the HSV Prometheus at 0600 tomorrow. We are taking a little trip to the edge of known space. Supreme Commander Vox had aged dramatically in the 5 years since the human incident. His once vibrant hide had dulled to a sickly gray, and 2 of his eye stalks drooped permanently, a physical manifestation of his diminished status within the Federation. The humans have announced their protectorate, his aide reported nervously. 7 of our outer worlds have already pledged allegiance. 7 today. 17 tomorrow, Vox muttered. They are carving up our territory without firing a shot. The Council demands action, Commander. Vox laughed bitterly. The same Council that ordered full technological disclosure? The same Council that now cowers in their chambers while humans walk our capital world with impunity? The aide's breathing tubes fluttered anxiously. There's more, Commander. The Deep Space Monitoring Network has confirmed. The Architect vessel has crossed the outer boundary. Estimated arrival, 15 standard cycles. Vox's remaining functional eye stalk swiveled sharply. Have the humans been informed? No, Commander. The Council believes we can use this as leverage. The fools. Vox slammed a tentacle against his desk. The moment the architects arrive, we are all equally doomed, the humans included. But Commander, the Concord of First Contact clearly states. The Concord means nothing now, Vox roared. The architects aren't some newly spacefaring species to be gently guided into the galactic community. They are the ones who guided us generations ago. They provided the atmospheric compound as a test of our worthiness. We failed their test by using it. The aide stepped back, alarmed. Commander, such speculation borders on treason. The official position remains that the compound was developed by our own scientists. A convenient lie, Vox replied, suddenly weary. One I helped perpetuate. And now we face extinction for our arrogance. With a decisive movement, Vox activated his private communication channel. Connect me with Admiral Jorka of Earth Command. His aide gasped. Commander, the Council has expressly forbidden. The Council has led us to ruin, Vox interrupted. Perhaps the humans, with their remarkable adaptability, can save us from what comes next. The communication system hummed, and then the red-skinned visage of Admiral Jorka appeared on screen. Your expression registered surprise, quickly masked by cool professionalism. Commander Vox, she acknowledged. This is unexpected. Admiral, Vox began, straightening his posture. What I am about to tell you violates every protocol of the Federation. But I believe the survival of all our species depends on this information. Jorka's eyes narrowed. I'm listening. The atmospheric compound we deployed on Earth wasn't our creation, Vox stated flatly. It was given to us by entities we call the Architects, beings from beyond the galactic rim who make contact with spacefaring civilizations once every 1,000 years. Given to you? Jorka's voice was dangerous. For what purpose? As a test, Vox replied. A test we failed by using it aggressively rather than studying it. The Architects present each civilization with a choice, a powerful technology that can be used for creation or destruction. Our ancestors chose destruction, using it against rival species. When they return, they remove civilizations that make the wrong choice. And they are returning now, Jorka stated. It wasn't a question. 15 standard cycles until arrival, Vox confirmed. The Federation Council intends to use this information as leverage against Earth. I'm telling you because I believe your species' unique response to the compound might represent our only hope. Jorka was silent for a long moment. Why should I believe any of this coming from you? Because I'm transmitting all our classified files on the architects with this communication, Box replied, including the original encounter records from 900 standard years ago. Jorka glanced off-screen, presumably at someone confirming the data transfer. When she looked back, her expression had changed. "Commander Vox," she said slowly, "it appears we have much to discuss." The HSV Prometheus hung in space at the very edge of the Oort cloud, humanity's furthest boundary. On the observation deck, Maya Reeves stood beside Admiral Jorka, watching as the science team prepared the experimental apparatus. "You are certain this will work?" Jorka asked, not for the first time. Maya shrugged. "As certain as I can be when attempting to communicate with godlike aliens using modified atmospheric poison." "Not very reassuring, Doctor. Would you prefer I lie?" Maya grinned, the metallic flecks in her skin catching the starlight. "This plan is 90% insanity, 8% guesswork, and 2% actual science. But it's the best we have got." The plan had emerged from weeks of frantic research after Vox's revelation. The atmospheric compound wasn't just a weapon, it was a communication medium, a way for the architects to gauge how a species would respond to power. The Federation had used it destructively and would face judgment. Humanity had adapted to it, integrated it, and might, just might, be able to use it to communicate directly with the approaching architects. Signal from the scout vessels, reported Captain Tommy from the command console. Unknown object detected at projected intercept coordinates. Jorka straightened her uniform. On screen. The main display activated, showing a distant point of light that seemed to bend the stars around it. "Magnification at maximum," Tommy announced. The image zoomed, revealing nothing comprehensible. The architect vessel, if it was indeed a vessel, appeared to be a folded piece of space, a geometric impossibility that hurt the eyes to look upon. "Well," Maya commented dryly, "they are certainly architects of something. Possibly migraines." "Energy readings are off the charts," one of the science officers reported. "It's accelerating toward our position." Jorka turned to Maya. "It's now or never, Doctor." Maya nodded and approached the central platform, where a specialized chamber contained a concentrated version of the compound that had transformed humanity. Through painstaking reverse engineering, they had modified it to carry information, specifically humanity's story. Their near extinction, their adaptation, and their rapid rise to power. Initiating transmission, Maya announced, activating the device. The chamber hummed, and the gaseous compound began to glow, pulsing with encoded data. For several tense minutes, nothing happened. Then, suddenly, the strange vessel stopped. "It's holding position," Tommy reported, surprise evident in his voice. A beam of light, or something approximating light, extended from the architect vessel toward the Prometheus. It didn't impact the ship. Instead, it seemed to pass through it, scanning or perhaps communicating in some incomprehensible way. Then, without warning, the observation deck filled with a presence. Not a physical being, but a sensation of awareness, of being observed by something vast and ancient. "They are here," Maya whispered, feeling the atoms of her adapted body resonating with the presence. A voice spoke directly into the minds of everyone present, not in words, but in concepts, impressions, and emotions that the brain struggled to translate. Unusual, unexpected, integration rather than rejection. Jorka stepped forward. "We are humanity. We survived your test. Survival was not the test. Choice was the test. The Federation chose destruction. You chose transformation." "We didn't choose anything," Maya objected. "We adapted to survive. Adaptation is choice at the deepest level. Your species rewrote itself rather than perish." "Fascinating." "What happens now?" Jorka asked. "Are you here to judge the Federation?" "The judgment has already been rendered. They failed, as they have failed before. Regression is their pattern." "And us?" Maya pressed. "What's your judgment of humanity?" A sensation like amusement rippled through the observation deck. "You have no place in our judgment cycle. You are new, undefined, a variable we did not anticipate. Maya exchanged glances with Jorka. So what? You are just going to leave us alone? Impossible. Your existence changes the parameters. The Federation must be reset, but you have integrated with them. Complexity has increased. Reset? Jorka's voice sharpened. You mean exterminate? Removal of failed variables. Standard procedure. Not anymore, Jorka declared, her adapted physiology flaring with controlled energy. Humanity won't stand by while you erase entire civilizations. The alternative? Partnership, Maya suggested suddenly. You clearly value adaptation and evolution. We have demonstrated both. Let us guide the Federation toward better choices. Unorthodox. Risky. Exactly what you'd expect from us, Jorka added with a grim smile. We are walking proof that your compound can create instead of destroy. Give us the chance to prove the same about civilizations. The presence seemed to consider this, and the observation deck filled with a sensation-like calculation, billions of variables being processed simultaneously. Acceptable. Humanity will become custodian. Failure will result in reset of all variables. How long do we have? Maya asked. One galactic cycle. Approximately 1,000 of your years. And the Federation? Jorka pressed. You will spare them? Probation. Under human supervision, their fate is now your responsibility. With that, the presence withdrew, and the strange vessel began to move away, folding space around itself until it vanished completely. For several minutes, no one on the observation deck spoke. Finally, Maya broke the silence. So, no pressure or anything. Just successfully rehabilitate the civilization that tried to murder us or face cosmic extermination. It's typical Monday. Jorka laughed despite herself. We survived atmospheric poisoning. I think we can handle a little interstellar diplomacy. Speaking of diplomacy, Captain Tommy interrupted. Commander Vox is requesting communication. Apparently, the architects made their presence known throughout Federation space simultaneously. Put him through, Jorka ordered. Vox's face appeared on screen, all three eye stalks fully alert for the first time in years. Admiral Jorka, what have you done? The architects contacted every Federation world simultaneously. We negotiated, Jorka replied simply. Humanity is now officially your probation officer, Commander. For the next 1,000 years, your fate is in our hands. Vox's skin paled to an almost translucent white. This is unprecedented. The Council will never. The Council will adapt, Jorka interrupted, or face the consequences. I suggest you start by acknowledging the independence of our protectorate worlds. And then, Maya added with a predatory smile, you can help us establish the new galactic charter. First article, no more atmospheric genocide. Vox's breathing tubes fluttered in distress. You are enjoying this, aren't you? Immensely, Jorka admitted. But don't worry, Commander. Humans are remarkably forgiving when given proper incentive. As the communication ended, Maya turned to Jorka. 1,000 years of babysitting the Federation. Sure you are up for it? Jorka gazed out at the stars, her adapted eyes seeing spectrums invisible to her ancestors. They poisoned our atmosphere, nearly wiped us out, and accidentally turned us into something new, something better. She smiled, a small flame dancing between her lips. I'd say we owe them a proper thank you. Humanity, Maya raised an imaginary toast, galactic probation officers extraordinaire, and breathing fire the whole damn time, Jorka finished. Beyond the viewport, Earth glowed distantly, changed forever, yet somehow more alive than ever before. The poison meant to end humanity had instead launched them into a future no one could have predicted, not the Federation, not the architects, and certainly not humans themselves. But adaptation had always been humanity's greatest strength, and now they had 1,000 years to prove it.